Good evening, my fellow exorcists, and welcome to the Lair of Filmaroo. Tonight, I will be reviewing Star Wars Jedi Apprentice, The Uncertain Path. Obi-Wan Kenobi is no longer a Jedi. He has chosen instead to be a part of the revolution on the planet Melida Dan. His master Qui-Gon Jinn has gone back to Coruscant, where trouble is stirring inside the Jedi Temple. Obi-Wan takes comfort in his friends, the other leaders of the revolution. Together they have power, perhaps too much power. As the revolution continues, friends become enemies, and Obi-Wan's path grows more and more uncertain. Qui-Gon is no longer around to help him. Obi-Wan is on his own. Now, if you guys remember from the last review I did, which was Defenders of the Dead, we're back on Melindan, the home of the Malind and the Dan. Two people who couldn't decide on the name of their planet because they're stuck in a war between each other, and it was up to the young to try and fight the elders and the middle-aged groups. And last time we left it, Obi-Wan decided to leave the Jedi Order to help them, to help govern the planet, because he felt that it was a good cause, and that's what Jedi should do. Turns out, Obi-Wan was getting in over his head. Like, fighting a war and trying to stop another generation from destroying the planet is a lot easier than trying to govern a planet. While Obi-Wan has his own task force, which has gone around to take away all the weapons from the elders and the young, he still has to deal with the smaller civil war within the young between Sarasi and Neild, who Neild wants to destroy all the grave sites that he feels celebrates the previous wars and battles, where Sarasi is rethinking the idea and wants to preserve the memories that are there because that's their history and that's all they have. This is kind of very similar to the idea of what happened during the Roman Empire when the church came and burned all the books. Pretty much it's very similar to what the church has been doing throughout the years. Burning books, converting people, and destroying whatever history was there before they came along. And here, yes, Neild has gone through a lot, and he's had to deal with his entire family being killed because of these wars. I can kind of understand why he wants to get rid of the giant monuments that house the words of his people and the rest of the people. I'm also definitely on the side of Sarasi in the idea that, yes, history, that kind of history is bad, like reliving wars and reliving massacres. It still goes along with the idea that this is our history, and it goes with the phrase, those who do not learn from history and do not preserve history will sooner or later be forced to relive it, which is kind of what starts to happen after Sarasi dies due to some complications in the young, and this drives both Wahuti. Wahuti was Sarasi's father, and Neild was in love with Sarasi, just like Obi-Wan. And you could even say this character was one of Obi-Wan's very first love interests in the Star Wars galaxy. And because of this, the war essentially starts back up. over whether to destroy the graves or not to. Because Obi-Wan is definitely on Sarasi's side. The idea of preserving the past, because Neild was so pig-headed and so set on destroying these monuments, he ends up creating another war between him and the elders, or almost another war, because thankfully Qui-Gon comes back and Obi-Wan joins up with him, and they stop the small revolution of the young soldiers who plan to destroy the elders and the monuments. On the other side, there's also Tal and Qui-Gon's storyline where they're trying to figure out who's been robbing the temple, stealing lightsabers, stealing lightsaber crystals. We also learn that Tal is now blind due to what happened to her in the last book, and so Obi-Wan and her have to deal with her new lot on life, trying to deal with her lack of eyesight, while also having to deal with this really annoying droid that follows her around. I can't remember the name of the droid. I think it's like 2B or something. I will say that the investigation is a bit boring. I mean, I get it. It's not the best mystery, but hopefully it picks up more in the next book, because the next book Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon are going back to the temple to deal with an attempt on Master Yoda's life, and hopefully we'll finally figure out who the mastermind is, which I'm pretty sure if you've been reading these books, you already know who the mastermind is. It's a little too freaking obvious. Let's be honest, it's not that fun. It's more of a side plot that culminates into Qui-Gon realizing that he misses Obi-Wan and goes back to Melindan to go help him. And pretty much the meat of the story is Obi-Wan's adventures and activities on Melindan. Because Obi-Wan is dealing with a whole different situation than just going on diplomatic missions with Qui-Gon Jinn, because he is on his own. And this is heavily featured in the moment where Neild kicks out Obi-Wan from the council of the young, because he feels he's an outsider and his opinion doesn't matter despite all the things that he's done for them. And I am kind of sad Sarasi had to die in this. I get the impact that they were trying to do, but I think you'd have had just as much impact if Neild died. It might have pushed Sarasi into rethinking her views. And this story also shows how much Obi-Wan really does need Qui-Gon and really needs the Jedi Temple and the Jedi, because he's at a loss at certain points. Like, once he loses his spot on the council, once he loses Sarasi, he has nowhere else to go. This leads to him contacting Master Yoda and Qui-Gon to come help. I'm gonna say Plot B with Qui-Gon and Tal isn't my favorite. It's way too slow, and it's got one of my least favorite characters. We're only halfway, maybe a quarter way through the stories, and I've already ranked my least favorite. So I guess I'm gonna give this a 7.5, because again, I'm not a big fan of Plot B with Qui-Gon and Tal, where on the other hand, I'm pretty sure it's gonna get better in the next book, and this is all gonna be worth it, where I'm more interested in Obi-Wan's problems on Melindan and how he's gotta try and figure out how to stop the wars from starting up again, and how he's more sympathetic to Neod and Wahuti because of his love of Sarasi, and this experience is a good way of humbling Obi-Wan and making him realize his mistakes and who his allies are, and makes him realize that he needs the Jedi more than he knew. Anyway, have a great night, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Click the little notification bell for more of our content. And may the Force be with you always.